This is an It Came From Gen X video.
We mentioned the Phantom of the Opera, and I'm looking at this week in pop culture history. One of the famous guys from our not generation, as I say, but we grew up with, sang in the Phantom of the Opera. Paul Stanley of Kiss, you might remember, did a stint singing in Phantom of the Opera a number of years ago.
Was in the Phantom of the Opera.
Yes, he was. Yes, in the big Toronto production for a while. This was before they think the Kiss reunion and all that type of stuff. But he did pretty well. He got some good reviews back in its day. But this date, September 19th in 1983, Kiss performed on MTV for the first time without makeup. Now, I remember that was a huge deal. I remember J.J. Jackson on MTV hosted it, and we saw their faces for the first time. And then they had the video "Lick It Up" from the "Lick It Up" album at the time. That was it was Paul, Gene, Eric Carr, and Vinnie Vincent was actually with the band at that point because Ace had moved on. So definitely I could not care less about Eric Carr or Vinnie Vincent seeing them without makeup. But it was a big deal. It was a big deal seeing Paul and Gene without makeup because they hid that so well for so many years. So do you remember the video? Do you remember the impacts of seeing Kiss without makeup for the first time? And were there non-makeup albums better than some of their classic stuff? Keith, what do you think?
Okay. That's a great question.
So glad you asked that. Now get back to the year that they took the makeup.
83.
Okay.
83.
So I remember watching that. I didn't start listening to Kiss until 85. 84, 85.
Okay.
So it was interesting to me, but I really didn't care as much.
Animalized era, that era.
Right, but it was definitely the Animalized era. I remember Cooper and I listened. But when I started listening to the music, the old music is great, stands on its own. And I have said this over and over and over again. One of the best bands ever, in my opinion, was Kiss without the makeup. I thought they were the best dressed, other than that what was the animal after Animalized? What was that album?
Oh Asylum.
Asylum,
That was the height of the 80s. Ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't know what was
glam.
up with all that with the green and the tassels, but other
that
than that, I
work.
thought they were the best dressed. They were the coolest looking and some of the best music. I mean, listen to those songs, "Hard to Hold You" and "King of the Mountain." I wish they would go back to that. I hate that they've been with the makeup all these years again. Want to hear some new stuff, want to hear some cool stuff. They wrote some of the best songs out of makeup, and I thought they were great. So that's my opinion.
There you go.
I am bored to death with Kiss and makeup.
Yeah,
Interesting for him to say that because the majority of the people will say the absolute opposite. They were better with the makeup. I was only 12, 13 years old when they came out.
Let me clear something up. I'm not saying they were better. I'm saying we've seen it. You've done it. And they haven't changed it very much. I just seen them in a recent concert. It's almost the same stuff they've been doing 40 years ago.
It is.
Their show hasn't changed.
So I'm just saying, I'm not saying nothing's better or worse. I'm saying you've done it. It was great. Move on, man. You have so much more to offer when you didn't have the makeup on.
Yeah. It's a traveling circus show for many years now. Many years. Go ahead.
Some would say the same thing about Alice Cooper. His show hasn't changed in 50 years, but people still go and see it. But
him last year was great, by the way. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I was 13 when that era began, and I was already a Kiss fan then. So I was shocked. I think it was more of that was our our shock. Like Marilyn Manson was for the 90s and 2000s, the shock value, it was Kiss without makeup was our shock value. And I agree with Keith. The music was absolutely fantastic. Whether it was better or not, I don't know. but I think the overall picture was better without makeup during that time. So
Yeah, if you're a Kiss fan a little bit, I mean, obviously, you probably know who they are out there. Certainly, our generation does, but even our generation, if you really haven't listened to many of the non-makeup albums, do yourself a favor. Go listen
Oh
to
my
Lick It Up. Listen to
gosh.
Lick It Up. There's a lot of
Yeah.
good non-makeup albums out there. And like you say, got a little goofy with some of the '80s glam, some of the stuff on there. But even those albums, there's some good cuts on those that are deeper cuts of non-makeup. That's some really good stuff. So
Excellent stuff, man.
yeah, go back and listen
My
to that. And if you
favorite
want
song by them
to,
is on there. It's well, All Hell's Breaking Loose is on there, but A
yep,
Million to One,
yeah,
my favorite.
some good
Hands Up
stuff
by
there.
them. Yeah.
Yep. And if you want one of the hardest Kiss albums ever was Kiss Revenge in the '90s when they did when they kind of had
Yeah.
that was Gene's best look,
Yeah.
non-makeup ever with the
How about
goatee
Thrills
and
in the Night? I mean,
yeah, man, some good
that
stuff.
was
Some
crazy.
good stuff. Hey, Fish here from It Came From Gen X with Skinner and Keith. For every like and subscribe, you may win a free 1-year subscription to the AARP.